I've been getting a lot of visions. I've had visions since I was a small child. Since I was about 8 years old, I remember that I had visions. And a vision, there's a difference between vision and imagination. Now, in your imagination is something you almost push the energy out. In your imagination, you are sort of running the cogs in your brain to make that imaginative process work. So it's a pushing out in a sense of energy. Your imagination is pushing out. Now, what I've realized that I've done when I've received these incredible visions over the years, and in particular in the last in the last couple months, in particular in the last couple weeks, I am receiving visions on a daily basis, multiple times a day. There's a really big difference between imagination and vision. And what happens with vision is I'm already in a state of like a heightened state. I'm already feeling really good, and something flashes in. And you will have had them too. You will have had them too, and sometimes you just deny them or you don't classify them as visions. You will have had them. You will have had them. I just know it. I just know it. It's like, for me, I get it. People would get it in a different way. But for me, I get like, and it comes in from this side, I get like and it's a picture. And I recognize it as something that I'm familiar with, something that I can just grab, and if I want to, I can take that vision and then I can combine it with my imagination almost and give it extra momentum. But I don't even have to do that. Once I've seen the vision, it's real, and now what I'm learning to do is declare it a vision and know that it's part of my path. I've seen some ridiculous, enormous, crazy, seemingly crazy, but sometimes, you know, you've got to be crazy to be out of your head and into your heart. Sometimes, you know, the craziest dreamers, they're the visionaries. They're the real visionaries of this world. People who are willing to sort of step out and declare something as true before it actually manifests. That's how we got the internet, you know. That's how we got all this magnificent technology, this phone technology, because somebody was willing to stand out there and declare a vision that had not been even created yet. I remember I was around when the first video phones came to Australia 27, 28 something years ago. I know the guy who brought some of the first ones into the country. And now every look at child, woman, man, woman, child on the planet's walking around with these little video phones now. We don't need any connection. We've got this automatic connection through the ether. Nobody questions that sort of thing. Nobody questions the magic of that anymore. But that is equivalent to the magic of life. That's equivalent how I can make this video and upload it to YouTube or Facebook and communicate with people while I'm standing in the middle of a swamp. I mean, really, isn't that a miracle? That's one of the miracles of life that we sort of take for granted. There are so many miracles that happen in our lives right now that they're commonplace. They're not even miracles anymore. They're just part of life. They're the way we create. Life was meant to be fun. Everybody was meant to get the things that they really want. There's no competition for resources on this planet. There is ample for everyone, because once you have the thought, once you have the desire for something, it's created, it's there. Source, that spirit, that energy that flows through everything is on it. It has done it, has created it, has set it into motion along with that initial thought that you had about it. So bless those thoughts, bless those visions, notice those visions, really, seriously, notice those visions that come in, those flashes. It might be a thought, I don't know, some people see colours, some people get sensations. They are source. If you're feeling good, it's source talking to you. There's something else I really want to say. Sometimes people get visions or thoughts. Sometimes things happen in their lives and it starts to feel really heavy. They start to feel bogged down and it's like a weight on their shoulders. They make it really painful. They focus into it. They think that it's life. They think that it's God expressing through them. It's not. It's not. The difference between what's human and what's spirit is how it feels. If it feels good, that's spirit flowing through you. That's your guidance system saying, this is good. This is intrinsically on my path. This is something I set into motion. Me, and Source is listening. Spirit's answering. God is creating through us. So listen to those things. If they feel good, they're God. They're a message from God. If they feel bad, they're from someone else. Abraham says, it's your mother. Every thought that's ever been thought still exists. So if you are feeling bad, if you're feeling bogged down, if you're feeling heavy, you've just plugged into a thought form that's of a negative nature. And you know because of the way it makes you feel. Because God, Source, Spirit is uplifting. It lifts you. You feel it, you know it, you have it every day at some stage. It doesn't matter, even the person in the deepest depression has uplift at some stage during the day. Grab on to those little thoughts of uplift, because you can have 20 thoughts in a day, and 19 of them can be something really ordinary and annoying and frustrating and terrible, but there's always at least one that you can grab onto. Grab onto that one that lifts you just a little bit. Grab onto that one and use your imagination and expand that. Grab onto that one thing that feels better, that brings you relief. That is Spirit, that is God, that is Source expressing through you. That call is always there. It's always there. Are you going to choose that thought, or are you going to choose the ones that bog you down? Sometimes when we've been in habits, I had depression for months and months and months. Last year, 3 months, I was in bed with the blinds drawn down. Who would know? Who would know now, you know? I never talked about it at the time. 3 months, blinds drawn down, could barely get out of bed. I got so sore in my body that I could hardly even walk around. I just got myself into such a state, focusing on things that I couldn't control. But now, I mean, this is the benefit of contrast. I can even talk about it now, and I don't reactivate those same old feelings, because I've moved so far beyond that contrast, and I am living right now the benefit of that contrast. I'm living this high energy passion. I've given my life to Spirit, to Source, to this alignment. I've given my life to this alignment. I don't like to say I've given my life to God. That's like saying you've given your life to something outside yourself. I've given my life to my alignment. I intend to do everything it takes to find my alignment every day on a daily basis. And that's what just keeps me in that flow. And it's got me so tightly that I can't get away from it. But it's a beautiful tightness. It's like the wonderful welcoming arms of God wrapping around me and going, come this way, come this way, come this way. This is the way. Let me show you what I've got in store for you. Let me show you how beautiful that this can be. Let me show you the magnificence of life in all its glory. Wow. It's a beautiful calling. You know the difference between what feels good, what uplifts you, and what bogs you down. The one thought that you can grab on that lifts you up, take it and run with it, because that's your thread to Source. That's your link to God. That's your connection to Spirit. Love it. Love it into being, love it into being, joy it into being, fun it into being, silly it into being, whatever it needs to take. I mean, I love that silliness. I've gone back to that silliness because it lightens me up. Life wasn't meant to be so serious, you know. If we could play all the way through our lives, like some people do. You see those people, those adventurers, they're playing, they're doing all the fun things that they love to do. They're the adventurers, they're the leaders, they're the ones that are connected to Spirit. They are living life on the edge. They don't care what people think about what they're doing. They don't care if people go, you shouldn't be doing that because it's not safe. They just do it, and if they die doing it, well and good, you know, because you're gonna die sometime. I've got news for you, we're all gonna die sometime. For me, I'm living life to the max until that day. I love you. Thank you for being there. I appreciate you more than words can say.